So welcome to our recap session. So yesterday we had a long session on Patanjali's Yoga Sutras. Today we are going to be covering some aspects of that. So the idea basically is that, in Pranic Healing, we talk about first is knowing, which we did yesterday. Then is remembering, which we will do today. Then there's practicing, which we'll also do a little bit today. And finally, after all these steps comes something called mastering. So, sometimes we hear something that, we've heard before and we're like, oh, I know that. And we just kind of, pretend like we know it all. But the point is, till we can know, remember, practice, and master, we haven't really understood it. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. We are going to be talking about the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali. We are going to be talking specifically about Yama Niyama today. So Yama Niyama is basically the golden rule. It is the do's and the don'ts. So in Patanjali's Yoga Sutras, the first two are Yama and Niyama. So the way Master Choa has taught us this is in the form of the golden rule, where he basically says, don't do unto others what you don't want them to do to you, and do for others what you want them to do for you. Simple enough, right? Except when it comes to someone who's irritating us, or it comes to someone who is not paying us, or someone who is not delivering the goods on time, etc., 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 right? So we forget that. So the first virtue we're going to talk about is loving kindness. Now, for those of you who, there's some people here who've known me, I used to be a really mufat kind of person. And I thought that honesty was the best policy, which basically meant that, I could, just look at someone and be like, kya pehen rakha hai? Ye kitna bakwas lag raha hai? I could do that. And then I would be like, but I didn't lie, she was looking bad, somebody needed to tell her that. So, the point is, yes, I needed to tell her, but I could have told her in a slightly nicer way, right? I could have said, hey, we're going to, this really nice restaurant where, I think it looked really nice if you wore, that dress that you wore the other day, that turquoise blue one with like the little sequins. I think that'll look very elegant. Why don't you wear that? You look really nice on that. So I'm still trying to get her to change her clothes, right? I'm still trying to get her to dress better, for example, but I'm just doing it in a nice way. So the first virtue that we talk about is loving kindness and non-injury. And this is again taught in the basic Pranic Healing workshop, and of course, all the way to Aratic Yoga. So if you're wondering why it takes so long, it takes so long because it takes a while to understand some of these things, right? And also to remember to, when something happens at that point, to remember that loving kindness is the first virtue, honesty is the third virtue, at least in our system, okay? Now, if you have a system where honesty is the first virtue, that's completely okay with me. Right now, we're just talking about Pranic Healing, and in the Pranic Healing school, loving kindness comes first. So there's loving kindness, and then there's non-injury. So you may be wondering, if there's already loving kindness, then why do we need non-injury? Is it not the same thing? Not really. Loving kindness is, being loving towards somebody. Non-injury is not hurting somebody. So let's say, for example, there's someone who has not been nice to you. So maybe the best you can do right now is not be injurious towards them, right? Being loving towards them, I don't know. I mean, it might be difficult. If you had a difficult relationship with someone, it might be a little difficult to be loving towards that person, at least at this point. But it might be easier to just be, non-injurious. So let's say, for example, if I stop thinking critically about, somebody who's been irritating me, that would be the way to practice that particular virtue. So you may ask, what's the whole point? Like, why do we need to do all of this? So, the way I would like to describe it is, Master calls these the golden rule. So to me, the golden rule, so there are three words in it, right? The golden rule. So I'm leaving out the for the time being, just to golden rule. What is gold? Gold is that very precious metal, right? Which most of us need a certain amount of, apart from the jewelry, of course, we also need it just, I represent gold as like, money as wealth. So we need a certain amount of gold, right? So how do we get that gold? It's by following the golden rule. Okay, so what is the golden rule? The golden rule is do unto others what you want them to do to you, and don't do to others what you don't want them to do to you. Simple enough, the golden rule. So this golden rule helps us to improve our lives, make our lives golden in some way, improve the quality of our lives, improve our finances, improve our material wealth, improve our health, improve our relationships, all of these. So you may wonder how this one rule can do that. That's again how the progression goes from basic pranic healing to Arhatic yoga. We won't get into that right now. So what I basically wanted to cover was, loving kindness and non-injury is the first virtue. So Yama Niyama. Why am I repeating this so many times? It's because so that when a situation comes in front of you, and if let's say you're a practitioner of Hatha Yoga and your trainer has told you about Yama Niyama, I want that bell to ring in your head and be like, oh, Yama Niyama, okay, I get it, golden rule. This is what I need to practice. So that's where that's where we want us to all be. We want all of us to be at a point where we practice the golden rule. So like I said, there's a nice way to say it. And being honest is not always the best policy. So try and practice honesty in a slightly different way. Try to practice honesty in a way that doesn't hurt somebody. And that is the golden rule. And that is the rule to make you golden. Okay. So hopefully that helps. And it'll, some of these words will hopefully, because they're rhymed, hopefully they'll like stick in your head and it helps me. So hopefully it'll help you too. Okay. So from there, we will, forgiveness with ourselves, because we are practicing, this is yoga week, and yoga is union with the soul. So we're going to try and work on our relationship with our soul. Okay, so we'll do that. Okay, so let's do the blessings. So be aware of your heart, be aware of your crown, raise your hands in blessing position. Let us use the law of karma to bless. So we're going to use the law of karma and the law of forgiveness. Remember, the law of forgiveness supersedes the law of karma according to Master Choa's book. The existence of God is self-evident. So first, let us recall all the targets that we have written down. We should have 4 kinds of targets in life. 1 is our financial target. 2nd is our health. 3rd, relationships. And 4th, spiritual. So sometimes our target and the target of our higher soul may be a little different. So first, let's bless the target of our higher soul. Let's bless the financial target of our higher soul. Inhale slowly, exhale slowly. Let's bless the financial target of our higher soul for us in this incarnation. So remember, the higher soul doesn't need cash. We need cash. Okay. Now let's bless our financial target. Please try and write down these targets so that month to month, year to year, you can track them. Let's bless our financial target. Be aware of the heart and the crown. Feel love coming out, pink energy coming out from your heart, golden energy coming out from your crown. Let's bless our targets with love, with compassion. Make sure your targets are something that you believe. It should not be something where, you bless the target and simultaneously your mind is saying, I don't know about that. Don't make a target like that. Make something that's achievable. Once that comes true, you'll have more confidence, and then we can build another target. Okay, let's move on to the health target. Let's be aware that heavy expenses on health are draining to the entire family's finances. So once again, let's bless the target, our health target, that our higher soul has selected for us. Remember, health is a way of working out karma. So in case you're going through some health target or health issues, it's a good idea to think of what is causing that particular health issue. Okay, now let's bless our own health target, as in like what we as the incarnated soul think our health target is. Let's bless that. Now for the relationship target, this week we're going to be working on ourselves and our relationship with our higher soul. So the idea is that our soul knows our journey, and sometimes the communication between the two is not very clear. The meditation of twin hearts is designed to improve that particular communication. So now we are going to do forgiveness with our soul, with ourselves. So some of these techniques are also covered in other schools. So for example, some schools say, look at a mirror, stare into your own eyes, and do the forgiveness prayer. So you can do that for the rest of the week, but for now, just visualize yourself in front of you. Let us say to ourselves, standing in front, I, the soul, salute the divinity within you. I, the soul, respect you. Feel love for this personality that is standing in front of you. It's yourself. Feel love, respect for this person, for the challenges that they are experiencing in life. Let us say, I forgive you. I forgive you for your mistakes. I forgive you for your shortcomings. I forgive you for not being exactly the way I want you to be. So, for example, if I'm trying to quit drinking coffee and this personality in front of me is really not cooperating much and just creates cravings for coffee, then it's not working, right? So that's what I mean. Pick on something simple, something that we can see results in 6 days. Okay, so let's bless ourselves. Let us say, I, the soul, forgive you for not being exactly the way I want you to be. Okay, once again, I, the soul, salute the divinity within you. I, the soul, respect you. I, the soul, forgive you for not being as loving and as kind as I think you can be, but you're not. So I forgive you for that, for your limitations. I forgive you. Okay, smile at yourself. One last time. Let's forgive ourselves. I, the soul, salute the divinity within you. I, the soul, respect you. It's really important to respect yourself, especially for those of us who feel, oh, nobody respects me. Guess what? You probably don't respect yourself. So this is a good way to overcome that. Now let's forgive ourselves. I forgive you for not being as respectful as I would like you to be. I forgive you for not attracting as much respect as I would like you to have. I, the soul, forgive you. Now let's also ask forgiveness from this personality that is standing in front of us. I, the soul, salute the divinity within you. I, the soul, ask forgiveness for my shortcomings, for what I don't do right, for my lack of loving actions. I ask for forgiveness from you. I ask you to forgive me for not loving you as much as I could. I forgive you. I'm changing. I will change. I am willing to change. Once again, I, the soul, salute the divinity within you. I, the soul, respect you. Please forgive me for not being the way you want me to be, for not being as loving towards you as you may want me to be. I'm working on it. I'll get there. Take a couple of seconds of silence. Feel the respect flowing from your hands, from your heart, and your crown, flowing to your own personality. Feel the acceptance coming back, and just enjoy the peace. Remember, the law of forgiveness supersedes the law of karma. This is the fastest way to work out karma. Okay, moving on to our spiritual target. Let's bless our spiritual target of our soul, or rather the spiritual target that the higher soul has selected for us. Maybe sometimes we don't think that's what we want, but it's okay. So let's bless the target that the higher soul has selected for us in this incarnation. And then also let's bless the spiritual target that we think we want to achieve. Inhale slowly, be aware of the crown, be aware of the energy pouring in through your crown. Be aware of your hands, visualize the energy going out and covering this personality with lots of beautiful pink golden light. I, the soul, respect you. Inhale slowly, exhale slowly. Once you're done, you can open your eyes. Okay, come back to the body. Let's massage our face, our scalp, our neck. I hope that was interesting. And so we'll see you soon on another session tomorrow at 4 o'clock.